On the Paper Talk today, we'll be going transfer rumour crazy. We'll be looking at right backs, we'll be looking at strikers, we'll be looking at wingers. It seems like Manchester United are being linked with almost anyone who's had a half-decent game during the World Cup. So we'll be getting into that. We'll also be giving you an update on the takeover. Is Sir Jim Ratcliffe coming to Old Trafford? Let's find out. Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm outside Old Trafford where it's pretty cold, isn't it? Yeah, it is. But I'm warm because I've been walking very fast to get here. Anyway, we'll get straight into it. Quite a lot of transfer rumours doing the rounds this morning. We've also got an update on the ownership, what is happening there, and Gary Neville has sort of made a startling admission, shall we say. So we'll get into all that. Make sure you're getting involved in the comments as well. We'll start off with an interested, in inverted commas. Manchester United are interested in signing Denzel Dumfries, according to the Manchester Evening News. Now, they've got this from Calcio Mercato. As I'm sure you've heard of them, we always reference them. They seem to do about 100 stories a day. It says here, Manchester United are reportedly interested in signing Inter Milan defender Denzel Dumfries during the January transfer window. Now, we were linked with him during the summer, if you remember, but obviously nothing came in that, and it looks like we could be back in for him. It says here, according to Calcio Mercato, United are keen on signing the Inter right back as Erik ten Hag looks to provide some much needed support for Diogo Dalot. Yeah, it seems like it's almost Dalot or bust at the minute in terms of right backs. I think you can play Tyrell Malacia there, you can even stick Victor Lindelof there if you want to, but Aaron Wan-Bissaka is the forgotten man of Manchester United, so it wouldn't surprise me if United were in the market for another right back. It says here, the report claims that in a value, the Dutch international at €50 million, around £43 million, something that Ten Hag will have to convince the United hierarchy to sanction after spending over £225 million this summer. One to keep an eye on. I wouldn't be surprised if that was put on the back burner, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if the right back's a priority. As that report mentioned there, we have spent £225 million in the summer, so I do think we might be in the market for a striker, which I'll get to a bit later on, but a right back for £43 million, I file that one under doubtful. United have taken a 17-year-old former Chelsea striker on trial. Prince Will, forgive me, I'm going to have a go at this, but I'm probably going to get it all sorts of wrong. Prince Will Ehibatio Man on trial at youth level. 17-year-old, he's a free agent. He was at Reading, I think. Played for the under-17s recently in a win over Blackburn, and he's a former Chelsea striker. Keep an eye on him. We'll keep you updated if anything comes of it, and hopefully I'll learn how to say his name properly if he does make the move permanently. Cody Gakpo has been speaking about a possible January transfer. He's obviously away with Holland for the World Cup, and he says, right now I'm busy with the Dutch team. I'll see what happens in the winter. In football, anything is possible. He goes on to say about how he's focused on the World Cup. It's nice to hear that people are in for him or whatever, but I just focus here and do my best. He says, I'm not surprised. I know what I'm capable of, but it's always a challenge to reach your highest level that's possible. I'm not there yet. I can improve in a lot of things. I know I scored 2 goals in the World Cup, but that's not the focus right now. I can improve. I want to help the team. It's about being the best team in the end. Seems like a pretty level-headed lad. United have been heavily linked with him. Maka had it in his Gazette yesterday. We'll keep you updated on that one. Looks like there might be something happening there, especially with Cristiano Ronaldo heading out the door as well. United are obviously light up front. We've got Marcus Rashford, who you could argue is better on the left-hand side, cutting in, but he can play down the middle as well. I know there's a similar thing with Gakpo. Anthony Martial, who's having, when he does play, he does well, but he's been constantly injured this season, and that leaves us a little bit light. So it wouldn't surprise me if we did go in for someone like Gakpo, despite the fact, as I mentioned earlier, we have spent a lot of money in the summer. I think if United are going to have a serious push for those Champions League places, we need reinforcements. The club's up for sale, and as Kieran Maguire from The Price of Football said the other day, if you want the club to be more attractive, you want to be selling the club while it's in the Champions League. I will get to the ownership story in a minute. Well, another ownership story in a minute, but there's a different one here now with Gary Neville. Gary Neville has admitted personal regret about Glazer's spell as Manchester United owners. He was talking to Melissa Reddy over in Qatar, and he's admitted that he regrets not speaking out against the Glazers' ownership of Manchester United sooner as the family considers selling the club. He went on to say, No player or member of staff ever spoke out against the leverage takeover. When it happened, we got on with winning trophies, winning the Champions League and winning Premier Leagues. And the club, to be fair, carried on being successful. I worked on the theory at the time that we could have worse owners. They were quite passive. I never saw any interference while I was a player. But then when Sir Alex Ferguson left, then I started to realise they were only successful because of Sir Alex. So the fact of the matter is they've taken dividends out. They've not developed the stadium. They've left the training ground going to ruin. They really are second class when it comes to the status of infrastructure at the club and the facilities. That can't happen when you're not successful on the pitch. So you put all that together and you get to a point whereby enough is enough. Well, you know, nice one, Gary. Nice one that you've woke up. I mean, to be fair, he said it for a few years. We just needed it saying 17 years ago, didn't we really? I get it's difficult for a player at a club to start speaking out against the new owners, but you know, when did he leave the club? He left the club a lot longer than 3 years ago. He could have said something then, but at least he's speaking out now. I don't know. I just hope this move happens, this takeover happens sooner rather than later, and we get better owners in than the Glazers. And as Gary Neville said, that shouldn't be too hard. I'm going to get back to the ownership in a minute. Just quickly on Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford's been speaking ahead of England's game against Wales tomorrow, and he spoke about Cristiano Ronaldo. He said it's an unbelievable experience to play with him. He's one of my idols. It's something I can keep with me forever. I wish him all the best. Really good interview with Marcus Rashford. It's like a press conference one, where he also spoke about the abuse he got when he was, you know, he dared to do that horrible thing of feeding starving children during lockdown, so he rightfully got racially abused. Honestly, beggars belief, done it. But yeah, it was a good interview, so check that out if you get the opportunity to. I've seen this story in the Evening News, and I think it's a load of rubbish, but I'm going to read it out anyway. Real Madrid interested in Lisandro Martinez. Yeah, we just bought him in the summer. He's not going anywhere. It says here, Defensa Central have reported that Real are interested in bringing the 25-year-old to La Liga. They already have David Alaba, Eder Militao, Antonio Rudiger and Nacho on their books, but it's claimed Los Blancos could be keen on Martinez as they look to freshen up their options. We're not going to sell someone we've just bought who's mint. So even if they do want him, they ain't getting him. So you can file that under not happening. Jim Ratcliffe. We've not had a Sir Jim Ratcliffe story for about 2 hours, have we? So let's have another one. There's a story here in the Mirror. I quite like this one. It says Britain's richest man eyes Man United takeover after dismissing Liverpool offer. It says Sir Jim Ratcliffe is said to have dismissed the possibility of launching a takeover bid at Liverpool, but is open to buying Manchester United from the Glazer family. Goes on to give you all the nuts and bolts that we've already covered. Obviously, Liverpool are up for sale. Their American owners have put them up for sale. United are up for sale. Our American owners have put us up for sale. Jim Ratcliffe, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who did come to Old Trafford as a lad and has expressed interest in Manchester United before, has got no interest whatsoever in the Scousers, but does want to buy Manchester United. So we will keep you posted on that one, because hopefully there could be some movement on that very soon. He's worth 20 billion quid net, so he's got the money. It's just whether the Glazers are willing to sell to him. Hopefully, I've looked at all the options. You get involved in the chat and the comments. He seems like one of the better ones. Whether, you know, you look at people talking about maybe a sovereign state, a consortium, all that sort of stuff. Let us know what you think. I'm interested in your opinion on that. Just finally as well, because we've gone transfer rumour crazy. If we don't get Gakpo, this is doing the rounds in ESPN, then we could be in for AC Milan's Rafael Leao, the kid from Portugal. I think he scored, didn't he, the other day against Ghana. I don't see that happening, I'll be honest with you. I think if we wanted him, we'd have to pay a lot more than probably we have to pay for Gakpo. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one, but I'll be surprised if we did get in, or if we did even go for him. I think Milan would play hardball on that one. But you never know. As always, if there are any updates, we'll go live. We'll have it on the socials. So make sure you are following us all over socials, subscribing to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We want to get to 700,000 subscribers. With your support, we can do it. We have got the Paddock podcast coming up later on. We'll also be doing an England watch-along tomorrow night. England take on Wales. I know it's not United, but there's United players involved, including Marcus Rashford, of course, Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw. So we'll be covering that. So, yeah, make sure you are staying locked, as Adam McCullough would say, to the channel. I've been Jay Motti, outside a very cold Old Trafford. Thanks for watching.